Dear, today I want to tell you how I discovered my purpose, which path I have taken, what helped me to understand the truth, to discover the power that is within me. For many years, I lived next to a holy man, an enlightened spiritual guide, my spiritual master, who helped me to feel the power and the magic that is going on around and inside me. And of course, like any spiritual guide, he received a huge number of letters from all over the world. People wrote to him their questions, and 1 in every 3 letters was about whatever their purpose was. Yes, this question concerns all people in the world, and of course, he answered everyone. But when answering the question about purpose, he said the following: "Your purpose is to help other people." And that's how he answered everyone. Your purpose is to help people. Your purpose is to help people. One day I couldn't stand it and asked him a question. "Master, you tell everyone that their purpose is to help people. Do all people in the world really have the same predestination?" The master smiled and told me the following knowledge, which I am now going to pass on to you. Are you ready to hear it? Then remember everything we have studied before. It is very important for you to remember chakras, subtle bodies, egregorialism. And today, we will learn about the levels of consciousness. The level at which the consciousness of a living being is located determines its purpose in the world. You all know that the whole world is around us. It is alive. We can feel oneness with a flower, with an animal, and even with a stone. Why? By going into samadhi, we will truly be able to merge with the entire living world. All the masters, all the saints talk about this. All the scriptures talk about this. But how to achieve it? Dear, the lowest level of consciousness that exists on our planet is a mineral, a stone. Yes, the stone also has consciousness. Only this is the consciousness of the first level, for the stone has only its own physical body, its own form. That is, the purpose of the stone is simply to exist, to be. That's why it can grow, right? Yes, the stone grows. A rock, if you look at a slice of a mountain, is made of many layers of different structure. Thus, from a small pebble gradually layering, the rock grows into a huge mountain, a real Everest. Yes, this is the only purpose that a stone can have, to grow, to become bigger. But that has it. The second level of consciousness on our planet is of the plants. How are plants different from stones? A plant also has a body, it can also grow, but a plant can also reproduce. Pistils, stamens, you probably went through this as a child. But plants have the ability to reproduce, sow their seeds, and nurture their own kind. Why? Because the plant already has a different level of consciousness. The plant has an entire etheric body connected to the Svadhisthana chakra. Remember? Yes, and the purpose of plants is to reproduce. If you sow a grain in the ground, it will certainly germinate and produce fruit for many other similar plants. That is, the purpose of a plant is to reproduce and create its own kind. That is why this is the second level of consciousness that exists on our planet. There is a third level. Which one do you think it is? That's right, it's the animal level. After plants, animals are the next stage of consciousness. Animals also have a physical body that grows. They can reproduce just like plants. But what fundamentally distinguishes animals from plants? What do you think? Dear, animals start to fight for their territory. They start competing with each other for leadership because this is the level of the Manipura chakra. This is the level of the vital body. And plants don't have that. You can imagine a mushroom that suddenly grew in a clearing and said, well, I'm in charge here. Now all the blades of grass should be gone. This doesn't happen. Different plants, absolutely different plants, can exist side by side, live and not interfere with each other at all. But animals don't. If they exist when they already exist in groups, their own societies, their own species, they don't mix with each other. Antelopes do not live together with lions. These are different societies because at the level of Manipura, social cells and families already arise, which plants do not have, but animals do. And there is a struggle for power. This is the third level of consciousness that exists on our planet. Interesting. What about the fourth? What is the fourth level of consciousness? Of course, the next level is human. A human is a level of consciousness that is on the Anahata chakra, on the heart. And of course, a human also has a physical body that grows. We too can reproduce just like a plant. We fight for power, for leadership. We exist in social groups. But that's not all we are limited to. That is not what our predestination is. Our predestination is greater than all that. Remember, we talked about how most people live on the lower three chakras. That is, their level of consciousness does not rise above the animals. There is even an expression when a person in a quarrel or in some kind of conflict can be told, "You behave like an animal." That is, this suggests that the person lives only with the goal of taking, conquering. Yes, this is the purpose of a lion, but not a human. The purpose of a human is much higher, at the level of the heart. The predestination of every human being is love. The predestination of every man and woman is to learn to love, and not only each other, to love the whole world, to love everyone, animals and plants and even stones. Yes, certainly we need food, we want to start a family, to achieve something in society, but all this does not make us human, you know? All this leaves us is the levels of consciousness of a stone, of plants or animals. If one wants to become a human being, it is needed to rise higher. It is needed to go up into the heart and learn to love. It is needed to learn to help people, dear, to help unselfishly, generously. This is the secret that my master revealed to me.
Я благодарна очень вам. Благодарю, очень даже благодарна.
Это бабушка, беженка из Донецка. Очень добрая Мария, которая растит еще 2 правнуков.
The predestination of every human being is to learn to love and help other people. That's why he answered everyone, your predestination is to help people. Because helping others means becoming a real human being. Do you understand? Monks in monasteries spend 40 years learning to love. Do you think it's easy? No. Love is not passion. It's not affection. It's not commitment. Love is a feeling that lives in our heart, and we can reveal it only when we learn to help each other. But here, it is very important not to confuse different ways of helping. Very often, people completely misinterpret it. To help means to give a rod, not a fish. Have you heard this phrase? If a person is hungry, you can give him a fish. He will eat it once, he will thank you, but sooner or later, he will become hungry again. But if you give him a fishing rod and teach him how to catch this fish, then he will be provided forever. Now he no longer needs your constant help. Help me. You have to give me your whole life, work for me all the time, take care of me constantly, and so on and so forth. Very often, a woman is in a toxic relationship with a man in which she feels that she is being used. Perhaps he is abusing her. Perhaps there is even domestic violence going on. But she says, well, he needs my help. He'll be lost without me. He'll get completely drunk without me. He might commit suicide without me. Or something else very terrible will happen to him. And she thinks she's helping, but she's actually helping him destroy himself. Do you understand? She's not helping him to become a better person. She's contributing to destruction. Or a mother gives money to her child constantly for nothing. What does he spend it on? Maybe he spends it on cigarettes, alcohol, drugs, gambling. Then he goes into debt. His debtors torment him, threaten his life, and she continues to give him money, thinking that she is helping him. Can this really be called help? No, dear, this is not help. This is contributing to the destruction of a person. On the contrary, you are not helping, you are only destroying his life. Or somebody asks you to do their work for them, and you do it selflessly, thereby nurturing a lazy person, you know? Dear, to help someone means to give him not a fish, but a fishing rod. Because if you give a hungry person a fish, he eats it once, yes, he is fed. He is happy, but then he needs you to catch a fish for him again and give it to him further. But if you give him a fishing rod and teach him to fish, then he can always be fed. He becomes a happy person, absolutely independent of you. Real help is when you help a person to become happy and you become happy yourself. If you doubt whether what you do for your family, your loved ones, or acquaintances is helping, it is very easy to check. If, by helping them, you become happy yourself and make them happy, this is true help. But if while helping someone you feel depressed, you feel vulnerable, maybe even resentful of that person internally, then this is not helping. This means that something bad and evil is nurtured in a person, and you subconsciously feel it, and your soul suffers. To help a person means to show him the path to happiness, to teach him to be happy. What made you happy? Energy practices, right? Helping others, right? If you attended our seminars, you have seen a huge number of happy people around you. You have seen beaming faces, smiles, hugs, haven't you? Because everyone who attends our seminars are truly happy people. They have learned what predestination and true happiness is. Therefore, if you want to discover your predestination, if you want to become a real person and feel fulfilled, then write down your homework. You should not come to the next seminar alone. You need to come along with your acquaintance, friend. Or maybe you will meet someone quite by chance, it would seem. But every person who meets you on your path is given to you by God in order for you to help them. But a lot depends on them, whether they are ready to accept this help, whether they are ready to follow the path you are guiding them on. A little later in the next courses, we will teach you how to interact with people correctly, how to transmit energy to them correctly, how to talk to a person so that his soul hears you. But it will happen a little later. Now the most important thing, dear, is to fill your heart with love, huge power that you are able to share and direct this love to those who are near you. Help a person. Invite them with you to a seminar where they will receive a huge amount of practices, techniques, knowledge, where they will get a huge fishing rod, a real spinning rod, which will allow them to catch a goldfish, and they will fulfill all their desires. You know what to do. Take action right now, and only after that, watch the next lesson. Oh yes, you ask, what is the next level of consciousness? What comes after the human being? After all, there are 7 chakras, but I have told you only 4 levels. Of course, there is the 5th level of consciousness, 6th and 7th, but it is too early for you to know about it. But for now, it is important to become just a person. All right, I'll tell you a secret. The 5th level of consciousness is the level of devas, the level of spirits or angels. It depends on from which tradition you want to approach it. In shamanism, it's spirits. In Christianity, it's angels. In Indian philosophy, it's devas. This is the level of beings of the subtle level, or gods who are able to control the elements, who can control the rain, the sun. Have you heard of such gods? There are many of them in Indian philosophy, in Roman, Egyptian, Greek philosophy. Each one is responsible for some sphere of life. These are the devas, those who are able to generate, create, and control energies so that they can change the world around them. A human being, of course, is not capable of this, but we can turn to them for help when we need to influence, for example, nature or some subtle material phenomena. For example, a shaman turns to spirits for help, and they, by helping him, can cause rain, or reveal the sun, or traveling in the subtle level. They can help him to heal this or that person. It is a long-standing tradition to turn to the gods and spirits for help and ask for their mercy in order to change the world around. You, too, can become a deva, unlock your superpowers, but we'll talk about that a little later. First of all, let's become human. And if you want to experience all levels of consciousness, to learn what is on the 6th to 7th level, how the universe has evolved and to feel like non-existence, dears, do the yogic complex, Levels of Consciousness. This complex will expand you to the size of the universe and shrink you down to a small point. You will feel what it is like to be everything at the same time. God, human, animal, mineral, plasma, and even a star. Try it! If you enjoyed this video, then give a cheerful like and share it with those who might be interested. This will be your gratitude for the knowledge you have gained. We will be honored. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We intend to delight you with new videos and convey truly invaluable knowledge. Don't miss them and hit the bell to be the first to seize the chance to change your life for the better.